pandemic has impacted everyone and everything, including, of course, the restaurant business in India. Now, why are we talking about the restaurant business in India today? There was a lot of a buzz about the fact that UK Chancellor Rishi Sunak has decided to give a subsidy to the people of his country to go out and eat in restaurants. People will get a subsidy of up to £10 a meal if they go and eat out. The idea is to encourage people to step out and go out and eat and give the restaurant business some kind of a lifeline. Now, back here in India, the restaurant business is desperate for any kind of lifeline. Of course, the cases and the numbers are continuously rising, as we've been discussing, which sort of rules out any all-out opening so far. Even the restaurants that have opened up in green zones or areas where there are very few cases have not seen great number of people coming in. The footfalls have been anywhere around 5 to 8% of what they were pre-COVID. So can the restaurant business really survive? What kind of help and aid does it need in a situation where any monetary help seems like it's unlikely to come as of now? It's not come so far. We'll have to wait and see what happens. To give us some perspective on this, I'm joined now by Anurag Katria, President of the National Restaurant Association of India. Anurag, great to have you on the show. Just your take about this move by the UK. A lot of European countries, in fact, have decided to waive off VAT to get people back in restaurants. Here in India, we're very far from wanting people to go to restaurants, especially in the hot spots.
Yeah, thank you, Tamanna, for having me here, first of all. No, I think it's a very interesting way to look at things. The economy will kickstart only when consumption starts. And what government is doing in UK with the announcement are two things. They are saying, I'm giving money into the pockets of the people with the subsidy to make sure that they go out and consume and the engine of economy kickstarts. And on the other hand, they are also making it easier by reducing the rate of VAT. And I think it's a brilliant move. It's a very interesting move. And I wish we could do that, but our size is different. So obviously, I mean, we can't look at something very similar. But what we can definitely look for in India right now is policy support. And I must also add here that right now we are still in what I call the survival phase, while UK is now just about stepping into revival. They are looking to open up and revive now. And for survival, what we can do right now is with the policy support and maybe some bit of liquidity support from the government, that will come very handy. I mean, forget about reducing the GST, at least bring back the input tax credit on GST for the sector. We are the only ones in the country, only sector where there is no input tax credit. And that makes absolutely no sense. You know, in an era where we are looking to save every penny to survive, this lack of input tax credit costs us 8 to 10% of our revenue. And I think this is very easy to do. It is against the basic grain of GST to not have input tax credit. So, yeah, I mean, two different environments, two different phases. But yes, we can definitely look at them. We need to get out of our, what I call the good old world socialist economy where eating out is considered a luxury. No, I think if you look at the engine of economy, I think eating out is probably the charcoal that keeps the engine going. We need to promote it.
Yeah, but you know, Anurag, the fact is that more and more people are preferring to eat in. Everyone's turning into a home cook, having fun, experimenting with dining. Is that impacting business despite the huge jump in home deliveries? How is that going? Is the survival mode for restaurants right now to turn into cloud kitchens and delivery centers more than anything else?
No, I think this is the biggest misnomer going around. A delivery business can never replace a restaurant business. The economics are very different. You know, deliveries can at best augment the restaurant revenue, but they will never become the mainstream. But what is happening even in delivery space, if you look at the consumption, is very low. And at the root of the problem is not what you call like people are cooking at home. This is, I think, because people don't have an option right now. I think it is that fear in the minds of people. They don't have the confidence to eat out with the growing number of cases everywhere and with all kinds of rumor going out. So forget about going out. I'm scared of ordering in because we don't know the whole supply side and everything. And in fact, coming back to the cloud kitchen, I believe people who have certain reputation in the market, there is certain brand, they will actually benefit in this delivery business as well. And these nondescript cloud kitchens will actually suffer because they will not give me confidence as a consumer that they will be carrying out the right kind of hygiene checks. It could be absolutely wrong, but that's the human tendency. Whatever is well known is considered better than the other one.
What is going to be the survival strategy and the survival rate? How many restaurants do you think are actually going to survive this period, Anurag? At least till your big cities and your big consumption centers open up for business. You talked about the branded ones being preferred by those who are choosing to dine in and order in. But that is a very small proportion of the total business, isn't it?
No, honestly speaking, this is the saddest part of this lockdown and pandemic. I personally feel in larger cities, 30 to 40% of the restaurants may never open again. And it's purely because of economics. I mean, very few people have the resources to sustain such a long closure. And also, certain policy support that could have helped us survive. For example, if they had declared, which we have been demanding as NRA for a long time, this incident as an incident of force majeure, then this whole Damocles sword over rents to be paid will be over. Then people can think, okay, I have to survive by paying just some employees and other costs. Other things like licenses, defer them. In fact, extend them by a year. Because if you draw parallels from what is happening in UK, they are saying come and consume. For example, an excise license, if you take an excise license, that collection is barely 2% of state's total excise revenue. Other comes from consumption. I would say just go ahead and extend the tenure of the license till next year and make sure there are more avenues for people to go and spend money. We have to think a little laterally on this one, because I don't think anything which was normal in the pre-pandemic times will remain a benchmark or a normal thing in the post-pandemic era. We need to rethink on this one.
Are you getting any sense of a timeline, Anurag, by when restaurants will open, at least in major cities, your Mumbai, Delhi? Is there any kind of communication, conversation with local authorities?
So conversations are on with every state government, but honestly, we can't put a finger. Our stance is very clear. Let the domain experts decide when is it safe to open the restaurants. We want to open from tomorrow. We will be very happy to open right away, but we also don't want to risk the public life by opening by and going against the wishes of the domain experts. So I think I would say there are no benchmarks set per se by any state government that X number of cases per day or recovery rate of X percentage is when we will open. But we are hoping that probably in another 3-4 weeks, larger cities should start opening up at least in phases. If not full-fledged restaurants, at least the restaurants without the bar should
Well,
be allowed to
let's
open. Hopefully, yeah. Sorry.
absolutely. Yeah, we'll wait and see. Thank you, Anurag, for joining us today and giving us that perspective. So yes, the Indian Restaurant Association has its own wish list. Not as far-fetched as subsidizing people to go and dine in, but at least enough to see that there is survival. And a worrying figure that Anurag Katriyar has told us about, that 30 to 40% of restaurants in large cities may just not survive the pandemic.